Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. Today I'm bringing you the kind of revelation that makes every heartbeat quicken and every timeline buzz. If you live for Turkish dramas, if you've ever fallen in love with a screen romance and dared to wish it might be real, and if you've been watching two of Turkey's brightest stars with hopeful eyes, stay right here. Because what I'm about to tell you has set off a wave of emotion across the entertainment world. The moment fans dreamed of has arrived. Sila Türkoğlu has opened up about her deep feelings for Halil Ibrahim Ceyhan. Yes, you heard that correctly. The bond that began under bright studio lights and careful scripts, the chemistry we all dissected in every behind-the-scenes clip, now sounds more genuine than ever. We're diving into the hints that led here, why this confession matters for their careers, and how it's shaking their fandoms to the core. If you haven't yet, this is the perfect time to subscribe, tap the bell, and stay with us for every twist and turn. We love that you turn to us for the stories behind the smiles, and today's story is the one everyone's talking about. Let's get right to it. Sila, the poised, determined, and endlessly captivating star who stole hearts with Eminet and then reinvented herself with bold new roles, has taken center stage in a whole new way. In a series of remarks that some call long overdue and others describe as a beautiful surprise, she decided to speak from the heart about the man who once stood across from her under hot lights and unblinking cameras. It wasn't a casual shrug, not a coy, "we're just friends." It was a heartfelt admission that felt like the final page of one chapter and the beginning of another. For years, viewers couldn't ignore it. Every glance between Sila and Halil during their time together on set carried a spark that felt too luminous to be confined to fiction. In interviews, the questions inevitably circled back to them. In fan circles, their names were spoken together with the kind of affection that can only be born from countless hours of shared scenes, photo calls, and soft smiles that never gave away everything but always hinted at more. Communities sprouted up everywhere. Dedicated pages, edits stitched with tender music, frame-by-frame analysis of their exchanges on a red carpet or a rehearsal day. They tried to keep it professional, tried to shield something precious, but the clues grew louder with each passing season. Remember those public appearances? The looks they shared when a journalist pushed a little too hard, the protective gestures, the way one would step in when the other seemed overwhelmed. Even their silences said plenty. In Q&As, they often danced around questions with practiced charm, answering without answering, leaving an aftertaste of wonder. It wasn't a game. It was two people trying to carry both the demands of fame and the fragility of something personal. And still, we noticed. And still, we hoped. Now, everything feels different. According to multiple sources, and more importantly, according to Sila herself, their relationship has deepened in ways that words can finally hold. The confession rippled through social media and entertainment programs like a breeze that suddenly turns into a sweet storm. It wasn't a press stunt. It wasn't a rehearsed line to boost visibility. It was the culmination of a journey that began in front of cameras and continued off-set, in whispers, in support, and in the quiet spaces where real life unfolds. What did she say? The exact phrasing may vary depending on where you heard it, but the essence has been consistent. Her love for Halil is real, profound, and central to the happiness she's nurturing now. She has called their connection rare, something that outgrew the boundaries of scripts and staging. In some moments, she even spoke of Halil as the man who stands at the heart of her present and the compass for her future. Imagine hearing that from someone as admired and guarded as Sila, a woman who has always safeguarded her privacy as carefully as she crafts a character. It's the kind of admission that makes fans feel seen, because it honors years of watching, waiting, and believing. This isn't a cliché, on-set romance tale. It's a story defined by restraint, care, and time. Sila and Halil built their rapport under pressure, long days on set, challenging scenes, discover and respond moments where acting and feeling blur at the edges. They handled it with grace. At first, they stayed in the shadows of discretion, because fame has a way of magnifying everything, including misunderstandings. Eventually, they began to show more, never everything, but enough to acknowledge that their lives were intertwined. This confession is not exhibitionist. It's a choice to live openly, without pretending that the emotions everyone sensed didn't exist. What does this mean for their careers? It changes a lot and nothing at the same time. On one hand, their individual brands grow stronger. Audiences don't just admire their talent, they're invested in their reality. Production houses notice when a pair lights up the screen and the conversation beyond it. It's easy to imagine new opportunities, joint projects that let them channel that magnetism into unforgettable stories, or separate endeavors that still speak to their shared narrative. On the other hand, it doesn't redefine who they are at their core. Sila remains a force. Disciplined, emotionally precise, fearless in choosing roles that stretch her. Halil remains an artist with many dimensions, an actor with a calm intensity, a musician whose lyrics often read like pages torn from a hidden diary. Fans are ecstatic, and that word barely does it justice. Feeds flooded with old videos resurfaced and new tributes crafted overnight. People stitched their favorite on-set moments with recent interviews, creating a long arc that now lands in a new chapter. A phrase took off across platforms, the digital echo of a collective celebration. And with it came messages of affection and gratitude, as if the audience wanted to tell them, "Thank you for trusting us with this." There's another layer to this, one that matters in an era where everything can be manufactured and polished. By speaking honestly, Sila has modeled a rare kind of courage. When your every move can become a headline, it's tempting to hide. But authenticity has a strength that outlasts rumor. A confession like this doesn't just entertain. It inspires. And although we haven't seen a long, scripted declaration from Halil, the understanding is clear, feelings are mutual, and a future is being built quietly, resolutely. Let's not forget what each of them has accomplished alone. Sila is celebrated for the sensitivity and fire she brings to her roles. Transforming from a sheltered heroine to a woman of conviction who refuses to be defined by expectation. Her work after Eminet showed range and determination, a willingness to claim new ground and to do it on her terms. Halil carved a place for himself with performances that balanced gentleness and strength, and he filled the spaces between projects with music, songs that tend to land with those who know what it means to long for something or someone. Together, they found a rhythm that amplified the best in both. Is this confession a strategy? A way to fuel headlines and drive numbers? The pattern suggests the opposite. For a long time, they chose silence. They kept their gestures small and meaningful. When they did share, it was carefully. A hand on a shoulder when the other was nervous. A glance that said, "I'm here," in rooms full of strangers. Support that stretched beyond photo ops. Attendance at events, respectful mentions in interviews, creative choices that seemed to nod to a shared understanding. Those are the threads of something honest. What we're witnessing is a reminder of why so many of us fell in love with serial storytelling in the first place. Not because it fools us into believing fiction is real, but because it primes our hearts to recognize truth when it surfaces. It's not only about that one set or that one show. It's about the way life wove around it and kept weaving when the cameras turned off. And isn't that a kind of magic? Two people with singular careers, navigating ruthless scrutiny, still deciding to choose each other in the open. In the middle of all this, there's also a practical reality: public love can bring pressure. Every step will be documented, and every silence will be interpreted. But here's the thing. If they've handled the delicate dance up to now with care, there's little doubt they can navigate what comes next. Expect brand offers, joint appearances, scripts written with them in mind, and tours that lean into their combined power. Expect, too, the quiet moments they'll guard fiercely, the ones they won't share because those are the moments that keep love alive. Their confession reshapes the narrative we thought we knew. It makes us look back at certain interviews with new eyes. That laugh during a panel. The way Halil once paused before speaking, as if waiting for Sila to finish her thought. The pride in her voice when she mentioned his music. The gratitude in his when he spoke about cast, crew, and those who make every day on set feel lighter. We connect the dots and realize the picture was there all along, waiting for them to choose when to frame it. There's also the matter of timing. It's not an accident. Both are in strong professional phases, with momentum to spare. They didn't need this confession to sell a project. They offered it because it was time, because private happiness and public life can only stay in separate boxes for so long before the seams start to strain. It's a gentle declaration that says, we're not hiding. We're also not handing over our lives. We're simply acknowledging what is. The lesson for all of us? That sincerity still carries weight. That a relationship can be nurtured in quiet rooms and still speak loudly when it steps into the light. That two artists can support each other's growth without losing themselves. And that the best stories, on screen and off, are made of choices repeated day after day, to listen, to show up, to stand side by side. In short, Sila stepped forward and said what many suspected and many more wished to hear: she loves Halil. The celebration that followed wasn't just about celebrity. It was about the affirmation of something hopeful in an industry that often feels transactional. It cemented the image of a couple who won hearts first as characters and then, gently, as themselves. As we wrap this up, take a moment to breathe in what this means. For fans, it's a reward for patience. For them, it's a promise kept. For the industry, it's a reminder that chemistry doesn't have to be manufactured, sometimes it's simply discovered. And that discovery is worth cherishing. Tell me in the comments how you felt when you heard. Did you sense this from the start, back in those long shooting days when a glance felt heavier than dialogue? What do you hope to see next? An on-screen reunion, a new genre where they surprise us, or separate projects that still hum with echoes of each other? I want to know it all, because this story belongs to everyone who watched it unfold. If this video made you smile, if it stirred your curiosity or gave you a warm dose of hope, give it a like and share it with fellow admirers who have championed them from day one. And if you're new here or just visiting, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars so you never miss the next chapter of the stories we all love to follow. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until the next video, take care, stay kind, and keep believing that sometimes the most beautiful plot twist is simply the truth revealed.